movies of crime. You almost like see it so much. But back then, you only had so many channels. And then when they would watch these shows, they were very powerful shows. My parents used to watch a show called Rescue 911. And it would just show reenactments of crimes. It was powerful. I've seen 3 seconds of Rescue 911. I remember walking through the living room. My parents are watching it. I look at the TV. A guy has a ski mask on, and a woman is asleep with her feet out from under the covers, and he started rubbing her foot. That's all I saw. I don't know what happened before or after, but I know I've never been with my feet out from under the covers because I accidentally saw that 30 years ago. And my feet get so hot, and I want to put them out so bad. I mean, try it every night for 30 years, and then that image pops in my head, and I yank them right back under. I'll be in a hotel room, and I'm like, look, you can't get in here, dude. You've locked everything. And I'm like, that's exactly what he's been waiting for. He's probably already in here. I don't know anything about history. And I can tell because every history movie I watch on the edge of my seat. What is gonna happen? I watched Pearl Harbor. I was as surprised as they were, you know? I took a typing class in 7th grade. That's how... And I thought it was a waste of my time. In my head, I was like, who's gonna be typing? Cursive is the future. That's what I like, as the future. I don't know what's going on. I don't know technology. I don't know what AI is. I don't think you get to know what AI is and also see a donkey jump off a high dive. I think it was one or the other, and I saw the donkey, so I'm out. If I send an email and it says the file is too big, I don't know what to do. My best guess is I try to resend it. That's what I try to do. You know how dumb that is? The computer's like, no, and I go, what about now, though? A pizza party is my nightmare. I'll have friends over for pizza. I'll be like, all right, we got to order pizza. And she goes, how much? I go, order the most. I don't want to order pizza in front of my friends. And she goes, just call and ask them. I go, I can't call these 40-year-old dudes and just be like, how much pizza do you think you're going to eat tonight? They have a family. They work in a building right now. And you may just call them back, did you have big lunch today? No, I would try to save money, so I need to know exactly how much pizza you're going to eat in 8 hours. So I grew up in the 80s and 90s. I was a kid in the 80s and 90s. And in the 80s and 90s, kids were getting kidnapped pretty rapidly. And look, I'm not trying to say we were more desirable or something. I think we were outside more. A lot more opportunity, you know? It's a lot easier to get us into vans. Didn't take much. And so parents back then, they would watch TV, and I think it would scare the parents. You know, you realize now everything's a crime show. Everything that you watch is crime, podcast or crime, movie.
Things are going super well. You started this new company called the Nateland, Nateland Company. Nateland. And it's a production company. You're making family-friendly comedy specials on YouTube right now.
Yeah, right now the Showcase is on Nateland Entertainment. It's the Showcase is
Nateland?
out. Nateland Entertainment.
But then you tell us it's Nateland.
Nateland. I say Nateland.
No, you didn't.
When?
I think you said Nateland. I said Nateland, and you go Nateland. And I go, oh, was I saying it wrong?
Well, that might be my accent.
That shouldn't count as me mispronouncing. You should be able to read through and go, he doesn't even know what he's talking about. Like that's...
No, I just didn't know if I was saying it wrong. I want to make sure I'm saying it correctly.
I don't think anything I say you're probably said it right. I told you, I think you say our last name correct with Bargatze, and I think we say it wrong as a family. Bargatze.
For years, I've been calling you Nate Bargatze.
Yeah, and I just went with that because you were so big, it was easier just to... It's just easier to do whatever you choose. You go.
I don't want to name you, though, but your name's Nate Bargatze.
Mark Maron once called me Nick, and I was like, I'll just be Nick. Like, it was enough people that was Nick. I was like, I'll just go with whatever's out there.
The dumbest I've ever been talked to, I like to golf. And so a guy was telling me there's a real golf course in North Carolina where they have llamas or the caddies. So if you don't know anything about golf, I mean, you know, a caddy usually carries your bag around, tells you how far you are from the hole, and helps you out. So this course, the llamas. So you put your golf bag on a llama, and it carries your bag. So he told me that, and then he looks into my big, dumb eyes, and he goes, just so you know, llamas can't talk, though. I mean, that's the question he was trying to get ahead of as he looked into my stupid eyes. Like, he's like, I'm gonna say it so that guy doesn't have to say it. I'm just at the zoo talking to the giraffes, just, hey, where are you guys from, you know? I know where you're from, but where are you from? You know what I mean? A lot of kids, when you pack now, you gotta be careful because a lot of kids have peanut allergies now. And our daughter actually has cashew allergy with tree nuts. And so I don't know what tree nuts are. But it could kill my daughter. The doctor just goes, can't have tree nuts, and that's it. He left. And I was like, we'd love to know. I don't know where nuts came from, but apparently they come from 2 different places, and one of them's a tree. I feel bad. I'm here. Look, I want to defend all these kids with peanut allergies. I don't think they get defended. They get yelled at by adults. We got a lot of adults addicted to peanuts in this country. And they're furious. I haven't had peanuts in forever. You could take peanuts out of my life, I don't think I would notice. And we just have, adults are yelling at these children like they chose it. Like when they were born, the doctor goes, hey, do you want to be a nightmare to everybody? Every scenario is life and death. You ever been on a plane? They just announce it. These planes just serve pretzels and be done with it. But they try every flight. If they can't, they just go, all right, everybody, can't have peanuts today because that loser kid right there. And these grown-ups are booing them. I mean, they're just, the only reason I'm on the flight is for the peanuts. I don't even know where it's going. I was born in 1979. And the reason I say that, because if you are my age or just right around my age, very, like, maybe 78 to 80, you might realize, or maybe you don't know, I've never been called a millennial or Generation X. I've never even really heard any of those terms growing up. And now you hear them all the time. So I looked it up to try to see, I was like, what am I? And I'm technically nothing. I'm on a cusp. I'm a generation gap. And what we are called Zennials, or we're called the Oregon Trail generation, or we are called, my favorite name is the Lucky Ones. And it's true, we're very lucky. We actually grew up in 2 different worlds. When I was a kid, I grew up like it was the 50s. Like you would go out and your parents just didn't know where you were. We went to school and played Oregon Trail on a computer at school. No one had a computer at home. It's like, what are you, a zillionaire? Like, I mean, you could. But then in high school, I had AOL. You know, we had a computer at home. Then I got a beeper, and then I got a cell phone. I didn't have social media until I was 26 with MySpace. You know, I mean, social media, like, whatever I did in high school is a rumor. It can't ruin my life. So if you're around my age, you might realize, like, you just end up always kind of being in the middle. Like, I understand when a Gen Xer says something, you're like, I get it. And millennial says something, you're like, no, I get it. You always just feel in the middle. And these groups all hate each other. And the most I've ever felt where I was in the middle was just this one hotel that I stayed at. So a lot of hotels now, they have Chromecast, and you can watch like Netflix in your hotel room. So I get in my room, and I turn it on, and my Chromecast is not working. So I call down to the front desk, and the oldest voice I ever heard answered the phone. This guy was a Civil War survivor. I mean, he was the age where you just go, thank you for your service. And it's like, I was in the Army, you're like, probably, man. I mean, there's an age where like they all had to go at that age, so just say it. So I tell him, I go, hey, my Chromecast is not working. And I could have just made up a word. I mean, he's never heard of that. I could have said, bot broke. I mean, he asked if I was staying at that hotel. That's how he goes, are you staying here? I was like, do you think I've called a front desk from a different hotel room? So he goes, look, I don't know what this is, but there's a younger guy here. Send him up. He'll be able to help you. And I was like, great. So that guy comes up, and he knocks on my door. I open it. He's my dad's age. And I mean, right when I see him, you're like, all right, dude, we don't have to do this. You know, I mean, I know you've heard of it, but you're not, if I can't fix it, you're not going to be able to fix it. But he's the generation that still wants to give it a try. So I got to let him in. So he's in, comes to my room, sits on my bed, a little too far back, I thought. I just remember like the back of his calves were touching the bed, and I was like, are your feet dangling? How far back are you going to go? Are you cold? You want some covers, man? He gets the remote and just starts pressing all the buttons. And I said, I don't know how to do it. And he goes, let's just keep trying it, though. I go, all right. I'm going to turn the shower on, open a window. Let's try everything. You know, let's just see. Maybe it turns on. Who knows? Maybe it's all connected. So we can't get it. And he goes, all right. He goes, there's a younger guy. He's about to come to work. At this point, I'm like, I'm the younger guy, man. I was like, it's all right, dude. I don't need it. And he goes, no, it's a millennial. I was like, all right, now we're getting somewhere, you know? This is what the millennial does. He was born with technology. He's going to know this. I was excited. I was like, great. He goes, he comes to work in an hour. I go, wonderful. And let me tell you, you know how quick that millennial fixed it? Well, I'll never know because he just didn't come to work that night. So didn't call in, nothing. And I found out because the old guy called me because he was supposed to fill in for him. He was furious, dude. He hates that millennial. He goes, he never comes to work. He doesn't take it serious. He's got a peanut allergy. And I was like, all right, well, I ended up fixing it myself because it was just unplugged. So that's my fault. Thank you, everybody. It was unbelievable.